Akshay, did you always knew what you wanted to do when you passed out from MBA?
I was all over the place. Saurabh, what about you?
यार मेरे को तो तब भी आइडिया नहीं था, आज भी आइडिया नहीं है.
Confused about your career choices? Wondering what steps to take next? In this podcast called Beyond Campus, Saurabh Garg, founder of C4E, and Akshay Dutt, founder of Unnati, are on a mission to crack open the career success code for the youth. वो बचपन में कहते थे ना, तुम जो चाहे बन सकते हो. So, let's turn the dream into reality.
Hi, I'm Sudeep Singh. I'm the founder and CEO of Empowered.
Want to know something surprising about the founder of one of the finest asset management companies? Sudeep Singh, the founder of Empowered, became the associate vice president of his first company only when he was 24 years old. His first high-ticket sale was worth rupees 5 crores, and he knows the ins and outs of how to become the most impactful salesperson of this era. This time on Beyond Campus, we have with us Sudeep Singh, whose secrets to sell and unique approach to life and business problems will keep you hooked on to this podcast. Hey Sudeep, talk about how his father was one of the reasons that led him to become a businessman.
So your father was an entrepreneur, or जैसे उन जमाने में कहते थे businessman.
Businessman, absolutely.
So did you also have the same thought in mind कि आपको भी eventually business में जाना है?
Initially, nahi. I actually always, when I was in school, I think we used to have these career counseling classes, and one profession really fascinated me was being a commercial pilot. और उन दिनों क्या होता था कि कमर्शियल पायलट बनने के लिए आपके पास आपको 11th 12th में PCM लेनी पड़ती थी. So I was good in physics and maths, but chemistry was I was really really bad at that. So I think that's where the decision I took that अब commercial pilot तो बन नहीं सकते क्योंकि PCM तो ली नहीं है और chemistry करी नहीं जाएगी. So let me try and get into the business side of things. So I opted for major in economics and and commerce. So that's how the journey started actually.
So why did you go to Bombay for your education? मतलब you were a Delhi boy, तो उसका क्या logic था?
Logic simple tha yaar. I had scored good marks in my 12th, but unfortunately DU mein the good colleges, the A grade institutions were taking me in giving me a pass sort of a thing, a BCom pass or a economics का pass course दे रहे थे. So strategic discussion हुआ family में कि क्या करना चाहिए. My parents have been very very supportive right from the day one. So they asked me, कोई pressure नहीं था. They asked me that do you know of any other institutions? स्कूल में आपको बताया हो career counseling classes में कोई और institution है जो अच्छा है. तो मैंने 2-3 नाम लिए, उसमें से एक सिडनम था बॉम्बे में. So we tried. I tried getting admission there and I got through. I got through Symbiosis also. So, but Bombay, I chose Bombay because I thought Bombay would give me a better platform post my college, which it did eventually. So that's why Bombay happened.
And you were like staying in hostel and in Bombay, or was there family there?
No. So one thing clear for me was that I told my parents that hostel life both hogi. So I would. So what I did was I gathered a few friends from North India who were studying there, and we kind of took an apartment and we were living there. So during the course of the I think the college, we used to have a lot of free time. So my college used to finish at 12:30 in the afternoon, and then we didn't know what to do. So all of us picked up some job here and there just to support our pocket money and get extra pocket money. Though family used to send, but it was a good experience where people said that why not, because Bombay, the culture was very different. Everybody used to be working. So हम थोड़े लुक्के रखते थे, घूमते हुए इधर उधर. So कुछ महीने तो हमने किया, Ghuma fira, lukhagiri kari, just to, because we were in a new city. But eventually, after a couple of months, we were like, कुछ करने को है नहीं, सारा दिन क्या करें, because पढ़ाई जो कर लेते थे फिर भी टाइम बच जाता था. Then we said, let's pick up some part-time job, at least थोड़ा extra pocket money हो जाएगा हमारे पास.
So your first job was with trade.com.
That's right. So trade.com that time had just entered into the Indian market. Basically, they were the pioneers to get the share market online. So the online trading that you do today is actually the software and everything globally was developed by them, which was then sold off to ABN AMRO in Europe, and that's when things opened up for the world. So it was a good experience. I was interning with them. That was actually a very serious interning job that I did. Before that, actually, I was like a promotional. Picked up a job, part-time job, which was a promotional kind of a guy where with HP. So my job used to be to go around all HP stores in Bombay to figure out that the marketing collaterals are in place, and the products are in place, and the show windows are nicely set up and all of that. So that was a very temporary job, but I kind of enjoyed that too.
Okay. So the trade.com में क्या था? Was it like sales, like opening accounts?
So trade.com was mostly from a perspective of administration. So since they were setting up office in India, they whatever challenges they because it was an international organization, they didn't know how to go about doing things in India. So I was a part of the administration team where I used to set up everything for them, get vendor registrations done, and thereon I also, because I was sitting in their office, so I used to see these guys selling, doing some bit of marketing. So it was a really, really good exposure from that perspective.
Okay. And then you joined Kotak after that.
Yes, so Kotak was after my education finished, my college finished.
Achha.
That also happened by surprise because during my third year, I was wanting to, look for. So there were placements happening actually, and my third year, I was wanting to get into the fashion industry, so fashion line. So, LVMH came to our, campus recruitment with the brand. They have a brand called Tag Heuer. So they wanted salespeople, and I actually, positioned myself to be one of them. But I didn't get selected because they thought I was too young to sell a brand which was really 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 high end. Because at that point of time, Tag Heuer watch used to be the thing in the country. But the super boss rejected me, but the immediate boss liked my personality and the way I talk and all of that. So he kept in touch with me, and he actually went on to build a team in Kotak. And that's when he called me and he said that do you think you want to do this? And at that point of time, I was really really naive. I didn't know what investment banking was. More or less, I understood what it was, but never actually got into that environment, or never had the inclination towards it. But and that's what was my concern with my boss. So I shared the concern with him. मैंने उनको बताया, मैंने बोला मेरे को तो पता नहीं है इतना, आप मेरे को क्यों हायर करना चाहते हो? So he said, वो छोड़ो, आप पता है नहीं पता है, कह रहा मैं ट्रेनिंग में आपको दे दूंगा, आप इंटरेस्टेड हो कि नहीं? So he said okay. I told him, I said okay fine, I mean if you insist, अगर आप सिखा दोगे तो मैं join कर लूंगा. That's when I joined Kotak investment arm, banking arm, and that's where the journey of finance and all the stock markets, and I actually set my foot in the real world. Investment banking को कहते हैं ना big boys world, so मैं वो big boy world में घुस गया था.
Achha. So what was your role there?
So my role was sales, but of course to start with, so I used to sell this product that they had, which was a portfolio management services. So I started doing that. So I used to go
This was for like HNIs or for corporates or what?
So this was for HNIs and super HNIs. So this was a product which needed a minimum investment of 5 crores back then. So that was the target segment, and that's the team that I joined. I actually started. I've actually done cold calls, and so I started doing. You started with doing cold calls, and that's how I worked my ladder up. Understood what it takes to do sales, and from that perspective, I think the जो growth आप देख रहे हो, the salesperson that I am today, is because I owe it to my boss in Kotak and to Kotak, because I've seen it ground up. I've seen how secretaries behave to these ultra HNIs. I've seen how family opinion matters in such decisions. I've seen a lot of mis-selling by other brands. So all of it, it was a very interesting time for me.
Do you remember your first sale there? Like, how did that happen? The first big achievement that you had in job.
Yeah, so the first big sale, nobody actually can forget that. So I was very surprised because up until then यार you're in college, आपको पता थोड़ा होता है कि और इतना कोई पैसे का होता नहीं था उस टाइम पे कि कौन अमीर है, कौन अफोर्डेबल मतलब मिडिल क्लास बैकग्राउंड से है. So you were kind of unaware of all these things. As kids, you were not such aware. So एक कॉल मैंने प्लेस करी, कोल्ड कॉल करी, एंड दैट वाज माय एक्चुअली फर्स्ट ब्रेक थ्रू. एंड किसी ने मेरे को अपॉइंटमेंट दी मिलने के लिए. उसने बोला आप आ जाइए. तो मैं बड़ा खुशी के मारे मैं बॉस के पास गया कि इतने कॉल्स के बाद एक कॉल मिली है जिसमें वो बोल रहे हैं आप आ जाइए. तो और उन्होंने जो टाइम दिया था, मेरा बॉस कहते हैं कि यार नहीं यार मैं तो बिजी हूं. तो आई समहाउ प्रेशराइज्ड हिम कि नहीं सर ये तो आपको चलना पड़ेगा मेरे साथ, मेरी पहली कॉल है. so he also laughed back then. I think the way I was pressurizing him and hounding him. So we went. This was a businessman in Kalba Devi. So there's a place in Bombay called Kalba Devi, where it's sort of like a trader's market. And,
like Chandni Chowk in Delhi.
Yes, something like Chandni Chowk in Delhi. So अब वहां पर कभी सोचा नहीं था यार 5 करोड़ का प्रोडक्ट बेचने जा रहे हैं. और वहां द बिल्डिंग वाज, जो बिल्डिंग में घुसे, ऑफिस की बिल्डिंग थी उनकी, वो लग रहा था कि अभी गिरी तो अभी गिरी, इतनी पुरानी बिल्डिंग थी.
अच्छा, वही मतलब चांदनी चौक वाली फील थी पूरी.
हाँ, पूरा चांदनी चौक वाली फील थी. फिर वो स्पेसिफिक फ्लोर पे पहुंचे, वहां पर 3 दरवाजे थे. मतलब 3 दरवाजों का मतलब है 3 डिफरेंट ऑफिसेस. किसी की बाहर नेम प्लेट नहीं लगी, किसी को पता नहीं किसका ऑफिस कहाँ पर है. सो वहां से खड़े होके फिर कॉल किया कि कौन सा दरवाजा है. फिर उन्होंने बुलाया, अंदर गए तो आई सॉ मैन सिटिंग विद अ नॉर्मल कॉटन शर्ट, wearing Kolhapuri chappals, and he was wearing normal linen pants, जैसे बॉम्बे people kind of behave. So that was kind of an eye opener. बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला उनसे during a course of time. But जब उन्होंने अपना existing portfolio खोला तो वो 12 करोड़ का portfolio निकला. So that was actually so that was my first sale. It was really, I was really glad to have my boss who was back then. He actually supported me a lot. He kind of looked at it, the kind of hard work that I was putting in, and he actually made me understand what this industry is all about, what is sales all about, how to sell, how not to sell. So I think what I am today, maybe थोड़ी झलक उनकी मेरी बॉस की दिखती होगी. अगर कभी दोबारा मिलने का मौका मिलेगा उनसे. So that's how it was. I mean, it was really, really exciting for me to be doing this day in and day out. And that time things, it was more about learning than making money. I think that's how the journey started. Yeah.
Okay, and you became an AVP there. I think so. That's a pretty big achievement. No, you must have been only like 23, 24 when you became an AVP.
Yes, I was actually 24 when I actually became an AVP. And to a certain extent, I think, the age did not matter. Reason being, I always had so I'm very tall. I'm 6'3". So people who actually I sold products to thought I was in my 30s. So
Okay.
so that was one benefit that I had. The second benefit was that I was, my mindset was not of a 24-year-old. So I was more mature with my thinking and my approach than a 24-year-old.
And your voice is also like, a heavy set voice types, मतलब वो थोड़ा वो बच्चन वाली फील आती है वॉइस में.
अब वो वॉइस का तो पता नहीं, बट आई एम श्योर बैक देन सेटिंग अप मीटिंग्स, डूइंग कोल्ड कॉल्स, वॉइस का प्ले रहा होगा अगर आप कह रहे हैं. But the maturity level, because somebody who's selling a product of worth 5 crores, and that is actually, come to think of it, is the hardest sell you can do, because आप एक प्रोडक्ट नहीं बेच रहे हो, आप लोगों से उनका पैसा और भरोसा मांग रहे हो आपके प्रोडक्ट में डालने के लिए. तो दैट इज बहुत डिफिकल्ट सेल होता है वो. सो मेरे हिसाब से तो जो जो सबसे मुश्किल होता है वो किसी के जेब से पैसा निकालना होता है और उनको कॉन्फिडेंस देना होता है. कॉन्फिडेंस देने वाली बात होती है कि हम आपका पैसा बढ़िया तरीके से ग्रो करेंगे और संभाल के ग्रो करेंगे. So that is something very 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 difficult to sell. But I think over a period of time I kind of caught on to the entire the entire business model and how it was done. So I closed a lot of deals.
So can you share like the top 3 things you need to do high ticket sales? मतलब if somebody wants to do high ticket sales, what are the top 3 things you need to be successful?
See, I think it is a lot to do with so the top 3 things that I would say that I still follow today, whether it's high ticket sales or any kind of sales. And this is something that my boss taught me, and it's still with me, is that you always have to dress good. You always have to look good. So you got to be groomed. You've got to be wearing ironed clothes. It doesn't matter what brand you're wearing. ये ब्रांड वैंड तो अब आए हैं हिंदुस्तान में. बैक इन अर्ली 2000s ब्रांड्स कहाँ होते थे इतने. So the whole idea was to look sharp and dress up sharply. That was one aspect. The second aspect is that my boss told me was that as Indians we have this habit of jumping and cutting somebody out while having a discussion. So अगर कोई बात कर रहा होता है, हमें वो बात काट के अपनी बात बोलने की ज्यादा जल्दी होती है rather than दूसरे आदमी की बात सुने हम. So that is something that I follow till date. So at the end of the day, you need to listen to the other person, absorb what they're saying, and then respond. And the third aspect that was told to me, and especially if somebody wants to do high ticket sales, is that you have to, while you're sitting across the table, make sure your mannerisms are very very important. The way you behave and conduct yourself is super you got to be super careful rather, because इसको अगर आप हाई टिकट सेल्स किसी को बेच रहे हो, उस आदमी को या औरत को उनको पता है कि what it takes and why they should trust you. I think a lot of trust factor comes in from how you conduct yourself and how you behave in that particular meeting.
Okay, so if I was to summarize, you're saying that likability is very important. You need to, well, likability in how you present yourself, in how you behave, in being a good listener. All these things go towards building likability.
Exactly. Because you can't आप जाते ही एकदम बिजनेस की बात नहीं शुरू कर सकते. आपको the easier approach is कि आप जाओ और थोड़ा familiarize yourself with the person and let the person familiarize themselves with you. So small things, maybe you can compliment on something that is there on his desk. Maybe you can talk about what is happening around in the world. just to ease out in the conversation, because जाते ही अगर आप बिजनेस की बात करने लग जाओगे तो वो भी नहीं ठीक रहता.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. And how do you get an entry? मतलब एक तो है कि आप उसके सामने बैठे हो and then you have a certain strategy, but दूसरा है कि आप उसके सामने कैसे पहुंचो. मतलब मुझे अगर HNIs, so HNI means typically कंपनी का ओनर होगा या CXO लेवल में होगा, तो how do I get them to give me time? Well, what is your advice to people who are doing sales, that how can they get time from big shots?
See, the landscape has completely changed from what I started at, Akshay. But आज की अगर सिनारियो की मैं बात करूं, the easiest way to do it is that you write them an email. And trust me, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लोग ईमेल नहीं चेक करते अपनी. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लोग चाहे उनको दिन में हजारों ईमेल्स आए, they will go through each and every email. So the art of writing an email and approaching and reaching out to them is the best way. Because आजकल के दिनों में क्या हो गया है कि you can't really do a cold call because you sound like a call center guy. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to give that a first impression. The idea is to write an email, write a crisp email, and keep it short and sweet, keep it to the point, and I'm sure you'll get a response back.
Okay. So moving on from Kotak, so where did you go next, and why did you make a move?
So the idea was, and this is something that is not, I really don't talk about it, is because I from Kotak, I moved to the US. I got an opportunity to work with back then Merrill Lynch, a company होती थी. So वहां पर मैंने यूएस में काफी कुछ और सीखा. वहां अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली, शहर नया था, कंट्री नई थी, पीपल वर डिफरेंट. पहले 3 महीने तो मेरे को ये लग गया, ये अंडरस्टैंड करने में लग गया यहाँ पर बिजनेस कैसे होता है.
यूएस में आपने वो हेलो अपॉर्चुनिटी कैसे मिली? यूएस अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलना इज लाइक 1 in thousands टाइप होता है, तो हाउ डिड यू गेट दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी?
Yes, so opportunity happened as such that they were actually hiring at back then. Merrill Lynch was hiring in India as well as in the US. So my boss actually, I applied for the Indian sort of a role, but my boss said that यार अगर तेरे को छोड़ के जाना है तो मतलब don't go anywhere in India. तू बाहर के लिए क्यों नहीं ट्राई करता? तो मेरा पहला जवाब यही था कि सर आप मतलब बाहर कहाँ से दे देंगे मेरे को. So I think he guided me as to how to go about doing that, and when he did guide me, he gave me a good recommendation and everything. I think all of that helped with the opportunity that I got there. So once I got there, that is actually the real financial world where things are done way differently.
What was the job you got? Like, what was the role?
So we were into. I got into completely into. Started off with portfolio management services, then got into M&A, and after that, I think 2 roles only I did completely. But वहाँ पर the business happens way different. So 3 महीने मेरे को लग गए just to understand the business, understand the landscape. Because unlike India, यहाँ पर जितनी पर्सनल मीटिंग्स हम करते हैं और टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं, यूएस में वैसा नहीं होता. यूएस में the sale has to be done on the phone. You can't go anywhere. It is either video conferencing or on the phone. There'll be a very rare opportunity कि कोई आपको मिलने के लिए बुलाए.
Right. Okay.
So और वहां पर to understand और accent उनसे बात करना, so I had to overcome a lot of challenges there. I remember one conversation where when I was talking to this client and he said, I don't think so you are in Merrill Lynch, New York. I think you are from Pakistan or India. So and and these were certain challenges that I had to face, and I had to think on the spot because I could not, flutter on the call. I could not think कि मैं क्या बोलूँ, तो मेरे को immediately जवाब देना होता था. So मैंने उसको ये बोला, मैंने if you think that way, why don't you come down to ये मेरा एड्रेस है, ऑफिस का एड्रेस है, मैं यहाँ पर बैठा हूँ, let's sit down and have a cup of coffee. Uh, and it'll be on me. So मैंने ऐसे करके उसको बोला, तो उसको थोड़ा confidence आया. Then he started talking business. So things are done on trust basis there, and you have to be very 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 careful because US में legal cases बहुत जल्दी आसानी से होते हैं. Legal suits happen in a minute. So आपने एक गलती करी नहीं कि दूसरे ने गलती पकड़ ली और legal suit हो गया. So, we had to be very careful of what we were talking, how we were talking, how we were behaving, uh, and all of that. So, वहाँ से भी काफी कुछ सीखने को मिला. But by the time my career could flourish, Lehman Brothers happened in September 2008, and there was a bloodbath globally. There was a global recession, and Merrill Lynch obviously fired everybody, and I was one of them. And later on, Merrill Lynch के जितने assets थे वो bought over by Bank of America, and so on and so forth. So जब मैं वहां पर था, मैं obviously पहला एक हफ्ता तो चलो ठीक है, सोचने में लग गया कि क्या हुआ क्या है एकदम से दुनिया को. It was like a big shock. I still had my visa, and I didn't know what to do. What next? So I was looking for opportunities, but not so much. I was still thinking कि क्या करा जाए, because उस time पे startup was in fashion in the US. So I was thinking maybe कोई startup करते हैं, ये करते हैं. In the meantime, जब मैं सोच रहा था, I actually met someone through a common friend while we were out, for a dinner and all that. So that gentleman was running a IT outsourcing team. उसका IT का business होता था. And I've been that I don't have an IT background or a tech background, but I've been very inquisitive about, and a passion कह लो, आप चाहत कह लो, मैं टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में पढ़ना बड़ा शुरू से बहुत आदत है मेरी. Gadgets यूज करना, टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करना, seeing technology work gets me really excited. So we started having a conversation, and उस टाइम पे 2008 में ही एप्पल ने ऐप स्टोर लॉन्च किया था यूएस में. सो इट वाज अ ग्रेट बज. सो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट, और करते कराते ओवर अ पीरियड टाइम, आई थिंक 1-2 घंटा हमारी बात चली. Towards the end of the conversation, the guy said, I would like to meet you again and discuss a project with you. So I said, okay. तो मुझे पता नहीं था क्या project है, कैसा है. Then we met again, and he told me that he wants to set up a completely different company where we would be developing these iPhone apps. And since I was from India, he thought I could set up a team in India as well as in the US, and handle the complete sales aspect for it. So उस टाइम तो ये था ना, मरता क्या नहीं करता. अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही थी. अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही थी, तो मैंने चलो कर लेते हैं बिना सोचे समझे. आई सेड कुछ सीखने को मिल जाएगा. अब वीजा पड़ा है तो उसका कोई फायदा तो उठाएं. So that's where I jumped on, and we created this company called A1 Technology, and we were basically developing mobile apps way back in the day. So उस टाइम पे मेरे clients होते थे जो, और ये जो जितने इंडिया में आप मॉडल्स देख रहे हो apps के, ये सारे मैंने देखे हुए हैं. So उस टाइम clients होते थे Find Your Local. Find Your Local is nothing but what your book my show in India. वहाँ पर एक client होता था Eats.com, which is your Zomato here. And then I had initial days of Yelp. We've kind of worked with them. So we used to pick up these projects and kind of build it up. So we ran that business for good 3-4 years, and then I came back to India because parents were also pressurizing कि अब इतने साल तुमने इस घर के बाहर बिता लिए हैं, अब might as well, it's time for you to come back and actually settle down here. तो मैं तो आया था,
हाँ, तब तक आपकी शादी नहीं हुई थी?
नहीं मेरी शादी नहीं हुई थी, तो मैं आया था छुट्टी, मतलब मेरा वीजा एक्सपायर हो गया था, तो वीजा लगवाने आया था. बट while I was here, I thought to myself, यार जितना मैं वहां पर कमा रहा हूँ उतना तो मैं इंडिया में रह के भी कमा सकता हूँ. प्लस थोड़ा यहाँ फैमिली के साथ रहूंगा, थोड़ा लाइफस्टाइल बेटर है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एटलीस्ट सपोर्ट मिलती है यहाँ पर, आपको हेल्प मिलती है. वहां पर सारे काम खुद करने पड़ते हैं, ऑल ऑफ दैट. Plus, life got a bit lonely also for me in the US because I was always traveling. Because we had to open up various offices and we had to do sales. So I was always on meet clients. So I was always on planes. So from one city to another and so on and so forth. So I kind of stuck back here for about a year, handling their offshore centers, and eventually I was working graveyard shift, which was US timing, sitting in India. And that was really not working for me because it was taking a toll on my health also. So I told my partner, I said, it's time for us, I think, to kind of sell this business and move on. So we kind of picked up this vertical and we kind of sold it to another company. And that's how I got an exit from there.
You had a stake in it?
Yes, I had a stake in it.
Okay. And how old were you when you exited?
So I was, close to about 30, 31.
So 30, 31, you've got your first exit, probably some money also to from the exit. So then what did you decide to do?
So उसके बाद सबसे पहले तो शादी हुई थी मेरी, तो घर वालों का प्रेशर था ही. तो उसके बाद शादी करी, फिर I wanted to actually get into e-commerce. और मेरी फैमिली को समझ नहीं आ रही थी मैं करना क्या चाहता हूँ ई-कॉमर्स. उस टाइम पे बड़ा नेसेंट स्टेजेस पे थे, अगर आपको याद हो, फ्लिपकार्ट और एक लेट्स बाय होता था, और वेरी बहुत नेसेंट स्टेजेस पे थे ये कंपनीज. So they were unaware as to what I'm talking about, and even the circle of friends or business people that I knew, my network, they all I spoke to them as this is what I'm planning to do. What do you think? Because I had to whatever I had, I उससे सिर्फ e-commerce company खड़ी नहीं होती. I needed more capital. So what I did was that I went to all these guys, met them for lunches, breakfasts, coffees, to understand what they thought of it, and they all discouraged me. They said, "यार, forget about all of this. ये हमें बात समझ नहीं आती. कल को क्या future है, क्या नहीं है. We really don't know. But why don't you do something best that you were good at?" So and they pushed me back into investments. So for a very short term, I was managing a syndicate fund kind of a thing in real estate, and I was managing their money. But दिमाग मेरा अभी भी टेक्नोलॉजी की तरफ था. So काम करने के लिए तो मैं काम कर रहा था उसमें, but दिमाग वो था. So I ran that for a very couple of months, only 6-8 months. I ran that small fund. And उसके बाद I said no, I can't be sitting and doing this. So I moved on, and I wanted to get into technology, like I said. So I handed over the portfolio to them, and I said, let me just do what I want to do. That's when my journey for startups or businesses started, actually, from ground up. The reason I say that is because अक्षय, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया कि यूएस में बिजनेस बहुत डिफरेंट तरीके से कंडक्ट होता है, इंडिया में बहुत डिफरेंट होता है. तो ये मैंने रियलाइज नहीं किया था जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया. तो मेरा फर्स्ट वेंचर जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया, इट वाज बेसिकली समथिंग सिमिलर टू what was the startup? I'm forgetting it. It was into real estate, but it was something like housing.com.
Okay. Like a marketplace where people list.
Correct.
Okay.
And I created a team. We started building the product. We built the product, but when we launched it, we didn't really get traction.
मतलब किस साइड से ट्रैक्शन नहीं था? लाइक लोग लिस्ट नहीं कर रहे थे, या वहाँ पे कंज्यूमर्स हु वुड बाय वो नहीं आ रहे थे?
लिस्टिंग दोनों तरफ से आ रहा था. कुछ ना कुछ चैलेंजेस दोनों तरफ से आ रहे थे. लिस्टिंग आती थी तो कंज्यूमर नहीं आता था.
हाँ.
So हमने बड़ा और एक चीज हमने ये भी करी थी, बड़ा फ्यूचरिस्टिक बना दिया था उसको, बिकॉज मेरा माइंडसेट तो यूएस के हिसाब से चल रहा था.
अच्छा, okay,
so
okay.
so वो कहते हैं मैंने I told you I have 2 or 3 startups that failed. Was the reason for a fact because I was way ahead of time for India, for the consumers to understand that product. So I did that. I did a crowdfunding website, and then I did a social media analytics website. ये तीन projects मैंने किए back to back, invested quite a bit, but again there was something wrong. That's when I figured out, and I told myself that कुछ तो गलत कर रहा हूँ. I have to go back to the drawing board. So when I kind of met a couple of people, spoke to a couple of people, then I took time off. I went back to the drawing board, and I decided to myself, I think the markets, the consumer behavior in India vis-a-vis a consumer behavior in the US is way different. So I had to unlearn whatever I had learned in the US. So मुझे वो पहले unlearn करना था to learn the new tricks of trade which was for the Indian consumer. So Indian consumer को understand करना is because Indian consumer बहुत differently react करता है from a global consumer. So वो understand करने के लिए I started researching quite a bit, and then I found this platform called Startup Grind. And it was a very, very interesting platform where they were talking to two current founders. They used to do a fireside chat every month, invite a few people over. It's like a very nice community. Invite a couple of people over and have this fireside chat about successful businesses or unsuccessful businesses or entrepreneurs who failed raising capital. एक हर एक topic पे बात होती थी उस पे. So I thought to myself that this is the right platform for me to actually bring to India, and also this will be a platform where I can learn what I want to learn, because when you interact with entrepreneurs who were at that point of time doing business in India, you would learn a lot about how the markets react, how the consumers react, how the funding happens in India, how the behavioral पूरा structure जो इंडिया का है आपको पूरा ecosystem समझ आ जाता है. So that actually helped me to learn a lot, and I ran that for quite a number of times. In fact, over a period of time.
So this was a US organization that you introduced to India. Is that what happened?
Correct. So later on, I built that organization in India and in APAC, and post that is when I wanted to get into co-working. So my co-working was.
So was this Startup Grind, was this like a paid gig or was it a volunteer thing? I imagine this would be like a community kind of a thing, right?
So initially it was a volunteer kind of a thing, but since obviously I kind of got everything together and things were going well, so they wanted to establish presence in Asia Pacific. So Startup Grind US and me, we kind of collaborated and did a joint venture, and we created a separate company which we were running here. So I was running Asia Pac for them. So it became like a learning entrepreneurial journey. मेरे को उतना वो नहीं हुआ कि teams कैसे set up करते हैं, business कैसे होता है, understanding from a consumer aspect, वो सारा उस duration में मिला. So we used to, obviously these were ticketed events. We made money from that. We had sponsors. We had Google investing into this venture. So Google का एक CSR arm है called Google for Entrepreneurs. They had backed us. So it was like a really, really cool ecosystem. Plus, I was interacting with just not the local crowd, but understanding what is happening globally with other entrepreneurs. Since it was a global platform.
What were some of the most inspiring lessons that you learned in this stint? Matlab, you would have, either learned from other founders who gave talks or through your own experiences? Like, what are some of the lessons that you remember today? Things which you learned in this stint?
So couple of things that I kind of swear by is that first thing I learned was that कि एक entrepreneur की life बहुत highs and lows के साथ होती है. And this is something that I till date see in my life. So for me to manage that highs and lows is very important from an entrepreneur perspective. The second aspect that I learned was that entrepreneurs don't fail, businesses do. Yeah. The third aspect that I figured out that, no matter what you're doing, where you're doing, your team has to be the right set of people. Because प्रोडक्ट चलाना बनाना चलाना पूरी कंपनी जो खड़ी होती है वो आपकी एम्प्लॉयज की बेसिस पे खड़ी होती है. So to hire the right kind of talent skill set, it is an actually an art, if you ask me, and it kind of takes a lot of time to figure out that core team जो आपने बनानी है. So you should not rush into creating a core team.
So
And
you would have
sorry.
seen a lot of entrepreneurs. आपका कोई thesis है कि what type of person gets success as an entrepreneur, or is it just कि luck की बात है या timing की बात है, कुछ की timing सही हो गई, कुछ की सही नहीं हुई?
यार ये लक की बात भी नहीं होती है, टाइमिंग की बात भी नहीं होती है. इट इज ऑल अबाउट गेटिंग द राइट प्रोडक्ट और क्रिएटिंग द राइट प्रोडक्ट एट द राइट टाइम एट द राइट प्लेस. Most of the entrepreneurs in India में ना problem ये थी जब when I was doing startup grind and I saw and I used to have a discussion. India में people don't want to use their own mind. If you see, ठीक है, there's an opportunity for we used to call it Me Too models. Me Too models are models that are working in the US और आप उसको उठा के इंडियनाइज करके आप इंडिया में बेच रहे हो.
Rocket internet model basically.
और रॉकेट इंटरनेट मॉडल हो गया आपका यहाँ. इवन फ्रॉम अ मैटर ऑफ फ्लिपकार्ट वाज आल्सो कॉपी ऑफ Amazon, राइट? योर ओला इज अ कॉपी ऑफ योर Uber. So these are Me Too models. ठीक है, Me Too models को there was a big scope, but ultimately the innovation was not there. And as Indians, I don't know why, but we fail to innovate. We've if you see our ancestral history, India used to be a place of innovation. Whether it was Ayurveda, whether it was Aryabhatta inventing zero, whether it was other aspects which were back in the day actually came from India, right? And we've given to the world. But I think over a period of time, what has happened is that we've become very complacent in what we are doing in life is working for somebody else or some company and getting securing our jobs and taking the money back home. So real innovation, matlab, when I talk about innovation is not just कि यार आपने product बना लिया तो आपने innovate कर लिया, या आप techie नहीं हो तो आप innovate कैसे करोगे? Innovation can be as small as certain aspects. अब अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि Flipkart ने क्या innovate किया, तो आपको शायद पता हो, शायद ना पता हो.
मतलब as far as I know, they like essentially got the Amazon model to India, so you can say geographical innovation.
नहीं सर, उन्होंने Flipkart was the first to innovate. The innovation Flipkart did was cash on delivery. So that आप प्रोडक्ट उठा के आप यहाँ पर ला सकते हो, बट आपको इनोवेशन फिर भी दिखानी होगी. That is why Flipkart got successful and not the other certain companies. Back in the day, जब Flipkart का competition था, they were जब funders ने evaluate किया Flipkart को, उन्होंने बाकी companies को भी evaluate किया. But the idea of what they innovated was far more bigger and lucrative for these funders to actually fund than other companies, because they started and innovated a concept like cash on delivery, and to manage that in terms of logistics. आप किसी से कैश ले, कोई आपके दो स्टेप पे आके आपसे कैश ले रहा है, वो फ्लिपकार्ट का आदमी तो है नहीं, वो लॉजिस्टिक्स का आदमी है। वो लॉजिस्टिक्स का पूरा एक सप्लाई चेन बनती है, पूरा एक वो प्रोसेस बनता है, वो पूरा प्रोसेस उन्होंने बनाया। So that was a big innovation. Similarly, if you see Paytm, Paytm is also I mean, wallet is not a innovative model, right? It is copy pasted, right? आपका a lot of model wallets were already operational in the West, but what they innovated was that the power for somebody to actually pay through a phone and to get cashbacks and to the ecosystem उन्होंने अपना जो बनाया, अगर आप देखें तो वो आपका ही पैसा अपने पास वो बार बार लेके आ रहे हैं। सो दैट इज इनोवेशन। उन्होंने ये नहीं बोल दिया कि सिर्फ आपने प्रोडक्ट खरीदा, आपने पेमेंट कर दी, ओके फाइन थैंक यू, बट उन्होंने बोला नहीं, हम आपको कैशबैक देते हैं जिससे आप बाकी चीजें पे कर सकते हो। सो कैशबैक आपका ही पैसा आपको वापस करते हैं और हम 4 गुना ज्यादा यूज करते हैं because of the cashback. So that is a real innovation model. So small, sorry. So I was saying that there are these small things that matter, that can be innovative, and this is something that you see from a daily, an entrepreneur should see from a daily perspective of a life course. एक चीज जो इनोवेशन जो लोग चाहते हैं और आप उनकी हैबिट बना सकते हो, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है।
So, your startup grind stint pura was like full time into startup grind only, or were you doing something else also along with it?
No, so it was full time in startup grind. I was on the side also an angel investor back then. I used to be investing into these companies and small amounts, ticket amounts, and to figure out how the ecosystem works and everything. I was also mentoring a couple of companies, just to figure out whether things are happening in the right direction or not. So मैंने ये साथ साथ बहुत चीजें की, but ultimately मेरे को थोड़ी आदत है ट्रेंड्स बनाने की, अपनी खुद की फ्यूचर ट्रेंड्स बनाने की। So मैंने ट्रेंड्स काफी बनाए थे, और हर जैसे मैंने when I wanted to do e-commerce was not because e-commerce was happening into India, but because I could see there's a trend that's going to be followed. So every time that I built on the trend, social media analytics when I started was on the same lines. How real estate broking was supposed to be done was on the same lines, like housing.com जो मेरा project था. So ये trends में I'm kind of I anticipate these trends and I kind of bring them. Maybe I'm too early when I launch product, and maybe it is a very early start to the market, but that's okay. Now I've learned how to kind of maintain that. So while I was doing startup grind, I saw this opportunity of co-working, and co-working becoming a big aspect into the Indian mindset, because that is something that India needed back then. And co-working is not a new concept. It is a transition that happened from. So if I give you a background on co-working, initially they were called incubation spaces. From incubation spaces they became accelerators. From accelerators they became co-working. So co-working, so that was a transition that I could see happening, and I thought let's get into co-working in a big way. So while I was pursuing startup grind, alongside I started speaking to a lot of investors, a lot of landlords, a lot of people who owned assets, and I started pitching co-working to them as an idea way back in 2014, when India had not heard about co-working. So and I must have met close to about 150, 160 odd landlords and these guys who own assets, and none of them supported. But I was really keen. I did not lose my spirit. I was still wanting to get into this in a very big way, and I had the ideas and the implementation. So one of the people that I pitched to in 2014-15 reached out to me again in end of 2016, saying that you were talking about this concept co-working. I have this asset. आप आके मेरे से मिलिए and let's talk business. आप मेरे को बताइए ये कैसे होता है और ये क्या होता है and all of that. So that's when we started talking in 2017. I kind of we incorporated GoWork. So GoWork was completely my baby, right from naming the brand to creating the aesthetics and all the entire aspect. So that was whatever I had learned all this while, I kind of implemented in GoWork to make it a success. Me and that land, the landowner, the family fund who owned the asset, we kind of collaborated together and we kind of created GoWork. So GoWork was essentially a very challenging project for me because it was a very, very large asset. It was, when we kind of launched it and we announced it, Times of India did a story on it and said that, we were the largest co-working campus in the world. So according to their research. So it was, close to, there were two assets. One was about 450,000 square feet. The other one was 550,000 square feet, totaling about a million square feet. And the challenge was to kind of get this going. So while I was, developing GoWork, and the idea was to that इतना बड़ा campus startup के बलबूते यहाँ freelancers के बलबूते तो भरेगा नहीं. So I brought this product in, which I am also promoting now. It's called Managed Office Services, where we went to these larger companies and said हम आपका ऑफिस पूरा डिजाइन करके आपको दे देंगे और मैनेज भी करेंगे and get you that X amount of saving that you want. So that is what that's how GoWork started. We got some over a due course of 3 years. We got some great clients. We had Zomato there. We had Guest Houser there. We had Paytm sitting with us. We had Travel Boutique Online. So lot of good names that came, and we were able to provide the solution to them. And in 2019, early 19, we kind of raised 53 million from BlackRock.
Okay, that was for what? To expand to other locations?
Yeah, that was to actually so expansion for marketing. For like I said, we also had another asset which was 550,000, जिसको हमने पूरा भरना था. So that was used for all of those aspects. So it was a brilliant journey. We kind of did very well in the NCR region. We were very competitive with our pricing, and thanks to कोई भी अगर आप business करो, so the biggest cost for a company or an entrepreneur is to educate the clients about what you are trying to do. So I think we were very lucky back then that WeWork had just come into India in 2016, and they actually were spending a lot of money educating the clients, and we kind of just rode on that. So we rode on that wave.
So why did you leave GoWork, since you were one of the founders there and you also raised money for expansion?
See, like I said, I always keep tracking trends. So my trends have been very focused and very well researched. So my aspect of moving on from GoWork was just for a simple reason that I wanted to implement more new models which I would now with Empowered. So I just didn't want to be in the commercial real estate space. I also wanted to get into hospitality. I also wanted to get into retail. I also wanted to get into residential. So just to open up the gamut of products and the way we kind of do business with such products. So the idea was helping. So the gap that I saw, and that's why I started Empowered, was that these B and C grade assets or real estate spaces, nobody was concentrating on them to upgrade them to a higher standard. nobody was, is actually focusing on such assets. We are still, agar aap, even if we go and you go to a, central business district of, say, Connaught Place, आप देखेंगे वो बिल्डिंग वैसी की वैसी पुरानी चली जा रही हैं, चलती जा रही हैं. There is no upgradation. To find a good asset in that location is very, very difficult.
ओके, तो गो वर्क बेसिकली बहुत वो फॉर्मूला ड्रिवन हो गया था कि ये फॉर्मूला वर्क कर रहा है, इसी को कॉपी पेस्ट करके
Correct.
करते रहो. लाइक, एंड how much was your stake there, like in go work? Like, was it significant, or like did you get an exit there?
No. So it wasn't significant. I was, my capacity with GoWork was more from a, a chief evangelist kind of a role. So the brand and the business and everything belonged to my co-founder. I told him, I said, you
The asset owner.
yeah. So I said, you please take care of it. I really don't want to get into these things, but because us time I was really hungry to display what I had in me from an innovation standpoint.
So you saw the need in the market for like a full stack real estate asset management company.
Correct. And that's when I started Empowered.
Okay. What is the business model of Empowered? Like, what is your proposal to an asset owner, and how do you what is your revenue, like your monetization model?
So what we tell the asset owners is that we have two models. We tell them that we would want to co-invest into that asset and bring that asset up to speed to a certain grade where we can churn better returns and implement various models like co-working, co-living, and all of that into that asset, depending on what asset category it is from. So the idea is to kind of get to blend these new business models that are coming in with certain assets, and not just keep that asset from a perspective of yaar ek regular rental return aa rahi hai, koi baat nahi, aane do. Because what I feel is that these newer models can churn out better returns than just a regular rental return.
Beyond Campus is a production of the Podium.in, powered by Career Launcher. If you like this show, then we are sure that you will love our other shows on subjects like entrepreneurship, marketing, books, and drama. Check out the Podium.in for a complete list of all our shows.